itself, I was quite honored that, with so many people in India, I get to meet the leader. So I went for the meeting, and it ended up becoming a 1 hour long discussion because we started speaking about the environment. I started speaking about my role with the United Nations, and the conversation became a beautiful, long, lengthy conversation. And of course, I was extremely impressed by our Prime Minister's thoughts on the environment, on climate change. And then he told me that he was going to be visiting the climate change conference in Paris that year. That is the COP21, the climate change conference. For those of you who maybe have forgotten about that conference, it still is the largest conference of nations ever in the history of our planet. 195 presidents and prime ministers coming together, not foreign ministers or secretaries, but actual 195 presidents and prime ministers coming together under one roof in Paris to discuss how do we mitigate the effects of climate change and how do we make this world a better place for our future generations. So he said that he's going to be having the main stage. He told me that he's going to be announcing the Solar Alliance, which is a cool project between France and India, which is about generating a whole lot of solar energy through nations which have a tropical climate. But anyway, so he told me about all of this. He told me he's going to be delivering a speech over there. And then that is when we were talking about music. My journey of music, I can get into that, but that's a long story. But nevertheless, I've always been an environmentalist and I've always been a musician my whole life. And I explained that to the Prime Minister, and I told him that some of my music is about the environment, but I also do a lot of commercials, I also do a lot of other stuff. So then he's the one who encouraged me that, you're so passionate about this and music is your art form. So why don't you just dedicate your life and your music entirely to this one purpose that you're so passionate about? And that is the push I actually needed. And he also told me that, if you make some music that I really like, and which includes people from all over the world, then he said that I'll launch it over there at the climate change conference, and the main stage in front of all those world leaders. I'll do that. So I thought, okay, accepted. And I remember leaving his office because if the Prime Minister of a country gives you career advice, you're going to take it a little seriously, right? So I did that, and then I decided that, this is exactly what I'm going to do. This is the push I needed. And I left his office thinking very strongly that this is all that I'm going to dedicate my life to. Every single piece of music that I'm going to make is going to be about the environment and positive social impact around those areas. And that's the only kind of music that I make today. And then I made the album. It is an album called Shanti Samsara, World Music for Environmental Consciousness. 500 musicians from over 40 countries. Very, very successful album, performed it now in more than 30 countries. And of course, our Prime Minister, true to his word, he took copies of the album, he gifted it to all the world leaders, and he launched it over there with the then French President François Hollande and the then United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. So it was a beautiful meeting, and then after that, I ended up winning 2 more Grammy Awards. So now I'm up to 3 Grammy Awards.
Wow! So I'm going to take a